We cannot be happy without being free, that we cannot be free without being secure in our property, that we cannot be secure in our property if without our consent others may as by right take it away, that taxes imposed on us by Parliament do thus take it away. Look here. This cup of tea costs extra because of a tax Parliament imposed on the colonies only. This pamphlet which I have just read costs extra in the New World because of the Stamp Act. Parliament's taxes on the colonists remove from us our right to feel secure in our property. My inability to control what is mine gives me a feeling of insecurity, as what is mine one moment unwillingly becomes Parliament's the next. How am I to feel free when every purchase I make partially belongs to Parliament?
I am a colonel in His Majesty's Army. In accordance with the new Quartering Act passed by Parliament, you are now required by law to allow me food and board in your home until I see fit to be on my way. What's yours is now mine.
John Dickinson recognized that property was a cornerstone to the feeling of freedom. His publication on the idea of feeling secure in your property as a necessity to feeling free was one which resonated with colonists throughout the New World. This idea of property security was a right which colonists fought for in the Revolutionary War. Comprised not only the freedom to possess material goods, but also the abstract property individuals call their own. America involves itself in wars to protect its inhabitants' personal property, but perhaps most importantly, protect their intangible property.
What freedom is simply isn't defined, and now I'm asked to measure that without any criteria of measurement.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be one of those people who say we're the freest country in the world, because to me that's just a nonsensical.
I think for here we're talking about negative liberty, mostly like in economic terms of property rights. Like what can do you think the government, do you think you're free,
okay, so we have the freest capitalist on earth, yes.
Our economic freedom is different than most other countries because we control a lot of the markets, I feel. We have a lot of economic impact against other countries or with other countries because we outsource a lot of our stuff, such as business, trade, resource extraction, and yeah, I mean we're a heavy hitter. We're a big player in the world global market.
I kind of feel like we're under the impression that we're freer than we are, but it's more of a police state than.
No.
No? Why is that?
I think that the government has its hand wherever it wants it. Like, if they feel like you're doing something wrong to destabilize our society, to like somehow infringe on others' rights, or to like undermine democracy, democratic ideals, whatever, they can easily just go into your house and be like, yo, we're gonna search your house, we're gonna bust up the crack lab that's in there, whatever.
I guess if I was an investment bank, I would answer that absolutely. But as just a typical American who's watched my home value collapse, etc., no, I don't think the government's overly concerned about my rights.
If it just means like at a small micro level, then yes. I would say that generally speaking, police do a very good job at what they do. But when it comes to actual real property rights, I would say no, because almost nobody in the United States actually owns wherever they live on.
Do you feel safe from UMass police searching your dorm room, or if you lived in the dorms without your consent?
No, they actually try to sneak into our house on a weekly basis.
You're living in a fraternity house?
I do.
Yeah. Try to sneak in ninja clothes or whatever?
Yep.
Definitely, if you look at where the taxes go, education, military, things like that. If we didn't have like a military just to defend our national security, we probably wouldn't be here.
I mean, taxation is necessary for society to exist. In certain areas of the country might have differing taxes, which make it tougher for certain people or certain tax brackets. But I feel taxes are necessary. They should probably start putting a tax on certain things which is coming up. I mean, in the West with water appropriation rights. But I feel, ecological goods and services aren't really taxed yet, but that should be up and coming with this whole green movement. So.
Taxes are a necessary aspect, I believe, but I think there's way too many special interests, or not even special interests, just too much diversity in the way they spend the money. I think they have their hands in too many things.
Oh, well, then I wasn't born wealthy. greatly infringes on my freedom to participate in capitalist society.
So our personal freedoms?
Personal freedoms? Yeah,
I would say the ability for people to conglomerize and to use that to their advantage, especially the recent Supreme Court decision, whether you're a union, whether you're a corporation, pretty much if you decide to group together, you actually have equal and therefore more rights than any individual.
I would have to go ahead and say, I mean, not the cliche answer, but terrorism, where I think it was a couple weeks ago they found that plane that had X amount of explosives in it was flying over Chicago, and I mean, every 6 months it seems like they foil another terrorist attack that could be equivalent to 9/11, but I mean, that's the biggest threat to freedom I feel is terrorism.